All right. So I went and got some more parts for the Yamaha bear tracker. So if you recall on the last video, I replaced the pickup coil, and much to my dismay, I checked to see if it was in spec too late. I should have spec'd it, out of the box before I installed it. But so it was out of spec. It was reading 580 something kilo ohms, and supposed to be only reading about 200. And I got a CDI box, and I'm not sure if that's good or not, right? So what I did, I went and got another pickup coil, and this one I got online. But instead of going to eBay or Amazon and getting one of the hundreds of generics that are out there, I went to a website where I could talk to somebody and make sure that it was going to be in spec. And sure enough, so it looks the same. You can see it has the blue and green. I mean, it looks identical to what I just installed, right? But let's check it and see if it's in spec. Alright, so here it is. This is straight out of the box. Where's the other lead? There we go. Boom. Can you see that? 202. I don't know if you can see that or not. 202.6. Alright, so now I know that I have a pickup coil that is in spec, so I'll install that. Then I can go back to the CDI box and check those out. At least I know everything else is in spec except for the CDI box, and we'll see if we can get a spark. Alright, so I'm probably gonna fly through this pretty fast. You saw it on the other video. I just take this cover off, take off the forward and reverse gear link here, and then go and take this cover off. And hopefully the gasket is still good. It was a new gasket when I put it on there, but then other than that, then I'll replace the pickup coil. So here we go. There she blows. And there it is. So let's replace this one and put it all back together. Alright, and back together it goes. Alright, so it's all back together. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put this aftermarket CDI box on it and see if we get spark. If we don't, then I'll switch this. I'll trade the CDI box back to the original and see if we get spark, I'm hoping this aftermarket one works, because I know the original one was splitting at the seams, so to speak. And let's go over here and see if we can get a spark on it. Alright, so the old CDI box is back in, and let's see if we can get a spark. Oh, I saw it that time. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So here's the old CDI box, and I am getting a spark out of it now. Now that the pickup coil is within spec, but you can see how this has been damaged here. It's Looks like it blew up inside. So I don't know what happened to the board in there. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. You know, I was hoping that this aftermarket one would work. That way, if I'm out in the middle of out riding this thing around, out in the middle of nowhere, it's just not going to conk out on me. But I can't even keep it as a spare, you know, because it just doesn't freaking work. These aftermarket ones like this, I mean, nah. Alright, there's the old one. Got it off. It looks like there is a little difference there, isn't there? You can see the gasket here was worn out. That's probably where it was leaking. Alright, well, let me get the screws off of here and we'll mount this one. Alright, the new one is on. That was kind of a tough squeeze in there. It sits down a little lower, so it was kind of hard to get this hose back on. I was able to squeeze it on there. It feels like this fuel hose is a little loose, but we'll see. If it starts to leak, I'll replace that too. So I'm ready to put some gas in it, make sure the petcock valve is not going to leak. And I know the carburetor does leak a little bit, so I'll work on that in a second, but I want to get some gas in there and then see if this thing will crank. Alright, I just put some gas in there and I don't see any leaks. And let's turn it on and see what happens. Yep, there goes the carburetor leaking. Alright, so we got one leak fixed. The next thing, I'm going to try to crank it, but yeah, I need to take the carburetor off. Well, maybe I can just take the float bowl off here and see what it looks like. Now that we have spark, let's see if it'll crank. Alright, everything's on. Yep, spark plug is on. Alright, so I try to run it out of gas so I can take a look at the carburetor. But the more I looked at it, I mean, it's draining out of this weep hole here, right? And maybe this was just loose. Let me get that down tight. Let's turn the gas back on. Well, maybe that was it. It was just this screw right here was a little loose. Nope, there we go. So why is that coming out of there? Alright, got the bowl off. Had to let the engine cool off over there on the other side. It was right against the exhaust pipe and got really hot. So I was always wondering why it was leaking out of here. So apparently the fuel was topping off over this little piece right here. So, and that's where it drains out of, right? So it was draining that high because this float bowl was stuck. I was fiddling with it and it popped open, or popped closed, should I say. So it looks like it's doing the way it should, but for some reason it was stuck down. Looks like it's operating fine now. It was hung on something. So I think that was it. Okay, so I guess I will put it back on and hopefully that was it. But I'm just going to put those 4 screws back on it and then turn on the gas and see what happens. Alright, float bowl is back on. I had to use my little stubby screwdriver and my little low profile ratcheting driver. If you've never used one of those, I highly recommend them. It has served its purpose many times on those tight to fit spots. That's off. Let's turn on the gas and see if it let's give it some time to fill the bowl. But so far so good. Alright, well, I think that's got it. Alright, no more leaks. Well, I think that got it. It's, we have spark, no more fuel leaks, and I know it's running. I just need to, sounds like I just need to adjust the carburetor and the idle speed and all that good stuff, which is pretty easy. And then I guess I'll take it for a quick drive. It is kind of hot outside. It's supposed to be 106 today, and being 1:30, it's probably at 100 already. It's freaking hot, but still got to take it for a ride though, right? But I guess that's it. So lessons learned. It's just watch what aftermarket parts you get. You know, that little pickup coil, I mean, I tested it. Test them as soon as you get out of the box, right? If you're going to go through eBay and Amazon and get the ones that are just all over the place. Same thing with the CDI box. Test them before you spend the time and actually install everything, and then find out that it's still not in spec. So with the pickup coil, like I said, I went to a company where I could actually, you know, email back and forth or talk to somebody personally and say, look, you know, make sure this is within spec. Can you guarantee it? They said, oh sure, you know, it's it'll be within spec and 2-day shipping, and if it's not, you know, it's free returns, all that good stuff. And it's great. I believe it was RM Stator. I'll give them a plug because they treated me right and gave me the right part. So I need to find the same with the CDI box. I want to find a company that, you know, I just don't want a generic, no-name Chinese part that you have no idea what's going to happen with it, right? It's a crapshoot, you know. I want to be able to talk to somebody and make sure that it's going to be within spec. Anyway, so I guess that's it. I guess I'm going to go for a ride. At least I know it's running now. I just hope my CDI box holds up before I find another one. If I find another one, I'll keep it as a spare, you know. But anyway, so that's about it. It's as always, just thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for my next video.